It's like, this is the clearest, like, fixed fight you're ever gonna see. Look at this guy holding his hands up and watch. Look at that. He, like, literally shows him his chin,
like,
and he goes down. It's so fake. Look at, I mean, he's got nothing. It's like a guy who just learned boxing yesterday.
World title in everyone's imagination. That's the heavyweight champ. You were here. Everyone else was here. But since then, the feeling has been Joshua makes all this money fighting anyway, 30 million pounds, whatever it is. Why should he take 40 or 50 to fight Wilder when he's making against anybody? He can make 30, 40 million pounds, whatever it is.
No fantasy contracts, just reality. You know, bringing our work to the table and bargaining and negotiating what we're worth and making this fight.
Then there's the aftermath. Lawsuits whispered, career scorched, and a heavyweight legacy staring at a crater. If you blink, you miss the moment boxing's spine snaps. The final consequence is bigger than a knockout, bigger than money, bigger than pride. It's about whether anything you watch is even real anymore. And nah, this can't be real. Except it is, and that's the problem.
The moment the story surfaced, it didn't sound like the usual noise. This wasn't trash talk. This wasn't hype. This was a door cracking open, and behind it was influence, leverage, and a suggestion so toxic it could rot the whole division.
That's why Jake Paul is so relevant, because he's found a way to bypass promoters and make money in the boxing rings instead of being a prisoner to the promoters. Even though he didn't fight anybody, he's about to fight Anthony Joshua, and we'll see what happens with that. Anthony Joshua shouldn't knock him into tomorrow because he's the bigger fighter with incredible power, but he's got a glass jaw. So if Jake Paul catches him, who knows?
AJ, do you think Jake is on your level whatsoever?
No. No.
No, okay.
Respectfully. Because it's clear. If I say yes, I'm going to be lying to myself, and I can't lie to myself. It's not that he can't compete,
right,
but when you talk about, for example, music, how many albums I've put out, how many mixtapes I've put out,
right,
he just hasn't got the body of work I've got in boxing.
Got you.
Here's a time bomb you're not ready for. Because once the idea of a script enters the bloodstream, every punch gets questioned, every slow round gets side-eyed, every strategic lull feels sinister.
The Jake Paul fight script just got leaked and the details are absolutely insane. This script goes back to the initial promotion where he was supposed to fight a super underweight Gervonta Davis. But we now learn this fight was never supposed to happen. The plan was always to fight Anthony Joshua, but they started with a villain arc by positioning him against someone 70 pounds lighter. So when he goes to fight someone heavier instead, he looks like a hero underdog instead of the initial side. That's just the beginning. The script for the actual fight is set up for it to go the distance and Paul to be awarded the win by decision. As a result,
you want the shock? Fine. The shock is that power now thinks it can negotiate outcomes, that legacy can be penciled, erased, redrawn. And when that idea even brushes against a fighter built on sanctioned pain and earned scars, something breaks. Because fighting isn't content, and the second you treat it like content, you invite chaos.
Now, I am torn on this fight. When it first started and Joshua was giving it, I'm thinking, oh, here we go again. It's a Tyson fight again. We're talking about two fighters who are pretending. It looked like a Rocky fight at the start. Joshua was afraid to let go. He was just like tapping. Let Jake get a few punches and everything. And then I'm thinking, hang on, I'm torn between two ways. Was he carrying Jake Paul? Was he carrying Jake Paul because of the script with the mentality of knocking him out before time? Or was Joshua not wanting to potentially hurt this guy? Like, hurt him. Like, it was throwing single punches, sometimes the odd one or twos. You know what I mean? The first 4 rounds, you're talking like 8 punches to 5 punches. And it was like, I was thinking that there's some sort of script. Jake Paul gets knocked out predictably by Anthony Joshua in tonight's fight.
Suing Anthony Joshua. And the reason has everybody side-eyeing this whole situation. From what's being said, Jake is claiming Anthony Joshua went off script. And when I say off script, I mean, there was supposedly a no knockout clause, or at least very specific fight rules, and Joshua hitting Jake so hard that his jaw got dislocated in 2 places was not part of that agreement. Jake basically saying that Punch crossed the line from just boxing into what he's calling malicious intent. Messy. If Jake is really saying this fight was supposed to follow a script, then what does that say about the event, the Vegas crowd, the betting money, all of that? Because that opens up a whole different conversation nobody wants to touch. He's allegedly claiming Anthony Joshua could be on the hook for something like $20 million for violating the rules and going beyond what was agreed upon. But let's be real for a second. This is boxing. People get hit. Jaws get broken. That's literally the risk you take stepping into the ring.
The second someone reframes that risk as a violation of a plan, the sport flinches, because now the ring isn't a proving ground, it's a liability, and that shift is terrifying. The aftermath wasn't denial, it was fog. And fog is where speculation breeds, where fans connect dots that promoters pray stay disconnected. I keep thinking about what wasn't said, about how Joshua didn't posture, didn't grandstand, didn't milk it. And that restraint makes the implication heavier, because men chasing clout don't move like that. Men protecting lines they won't cross do. Listen to the restraint, because the calm is the tell. And when a man refuses the circus and just states a boundary, that's louder than any accusation. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. If this was offered here, who else heard it? Who else nodded? Let me drop another uneasy thought, because if this was casually floated to a global star, imagine the pressure on fighters without leverage, without platforms, without escape routes. I'll leave you unsettled on purpose, because there are too many gaps, too many careful words, too many people acting like this is normal, and it's not. And if you think the story is finished, you're not paying attention. The next reveal won't come with a warning. It'll drop suddenly, messy. And when it does, boxing might not recognize itself anymore.